the nodal analysis, super node mesh analysis, super mesh analysis. After that, we have completed how to transform one voltage source to current source and current source to voltage source. Then we have covered star delta, that is Y delta transformation. After that, we have covered the bit like this power consumption by the element or by the source, and we have covered how to find out the equivalent resistance across two terminals in the given network. We have seen there are two types. If ladder diagram is given, ladder diagram of resistances, or we can say if Wheatstone bridge is there, then how to find out equivalent resistance, when bridge will be balanced, when bridge will be unbalanced. In that case, how to find out equivalent resistance we have seen, and based on this we have seen number of problems. So we have taken the test. In the test I have included the questions which covers all these bits. Okay, so we will solve these problems later in the next lecture. So today I will start the network theorems. So for gate point of view, there are the four theorems only. So first theorem will be the superposition theorem, second will be the Thevenin's theorem, third will be the Norton's theorem, and fourth will be the maximum power transfer theorem. Okay, so I will share माईक बंद करा, कोणाच चालू आहे. Okay, uh, today we will start the network theorems topic. In that, I already told that there are the four theorems are there for the gate point of view. Previously there were the 6 to 7 theorems, but now the number of theorems reduced. Only four important theorems they are considered in the syllabus. So superposition theorem, Thevenin's theorem, Norton's theorem, and maximum power transfer theorem. Okay, now next one we will start today the superposition theorem. So as only Zoom will allow 40 minutes, so we can cover superposition theorem, we can understand the superposition theorem. So here, what are the different contents we are learning in the superposition theorem? So already we learned in the subject network theory and analysis. So gate point of view, I will again once again we can take the revision of these theorems. So first of all, what is superposition theorem? What do you mean by superposition theorem? What is there? So we can understand this one. After that, where we can apply SPT. SPT I have written in the short form, that is superposition theorem. So instead of superposition theorem, I will use the word SPT. So where we can apply the SPT. So in which circuit we can apply the SPT, that is also important one. Many times based on this also they are asking the MCQ question. So next one, how to apply SPT. So SPT, how to apply, there will be the some rules, some steps, so that we have to understand. So without that we cannot apply, because what is the superposition theorem, where we can apply the superposition. After that it is also important how to apply, because without knowing this we cannot find out any response across any element in the given network. I understand. So next one will be the procedure to apply SPT, and then applications of SPT. Okay. So next, okay, now question will come in the mind. What is the superposition theorem? In some many books they have given the statements, different statements are there. Wordings will be different, but meaning will be the same. So here I will tell that what is the superposition theorem. So superposition theorem we can apply in a linear circuit only. So what do you mean by linear circuit? The linear circuit means in which there will be the linear relationship between voltage and current across any element in the network. So once again I will tell what is mean by linear circuit. The linear circuit means the circuit which consisting of linear elements. So linear elements means R, L and C, that is resistor, inductor and capacitor, because these passive components will exhibits the linear property. So what do you mean by linear property? If we are applying a voltage across these elements, then the current passing through these elements, if you are finding, and with the help of this voltage across element and current passing through element, if you are drawing the graph or plotting the graph, then that graph will be looking a linear, which is passing through origin. That's why these elements are called as what? Linear elements. Therefore, the circuit which consisting of these linear elements, that network is called as what? Linear circuit or linear network. I understand. So uh, here we can say, please please off the mic. कोणाचं माईक चालू आहे ते बंद करा. So here, superposition theorem means what? It states that the response means what? The response may be voltage across element or current passing through element. So it states that the response in a particular branch of a linear circuit when multiple independent sources are acting at the same time is equivalent to sum of the responses due to each independent sources acting at a time. So the condition to apply the superposition theorem is that it should consisting of minimum two independent sources in the circuit. Then and then we can apply the superposition theorem. So here multiple means more than two. Okay, two or more than that. So the response in any branch. So response in any branch means response across any element when multiple independent sources are acting at the same time is equivalent to sum of responses due to each independent sources acting at a time. So while applying SPT, we have to consider that one independent source acting at a one time, while other sources we have to make it non-operative. So non-operative means what? The the independent voltage source should be make as short circuit, and independent current source we have to making as a open circuit. That we have to make it while applying the superposition theorem. Okay, so already you learned this superposition theorem, you know that how to use the superposition theorem. So next one, where we can apply the superposition theorem. So some there will be the conditions here. So first condition will be the in linear circuit only we can apply the superposition theorem. Obviously, I told what do you mean by linear circuit. Next one, for both AC and DC circuit we can apply the superposition theorem. Means the circuit which consisting of DC sources or AC sources or combination of this, whatever it may be, we can apply the superposition theorem. But the important condition is that the circuit must consisting of at least two independent sources. How many number of dependent sources are present? It doesn't matter. Okay, but the minimum number of independent sources should be at least two or more than two. Okay, minimum two should be there. Then and then we can apply the superposition theorem. Okay, now next one. So next one we can start with the help of how to apply the superposition theorem. Okay, now here indirectly we can say these are the steps. Okay, now our method, what we are doing. So in this method, uh, so first of all, we will consider only one independent source at a time. So we have to eliminate the remaining independent sources from the circuit. So eliminate these sources by a different method. We cannot remove it. We can remove it either by short circuit or open circuit. If voltage source is there, then we can remove it by short circuit. If current source is there, then we can replace it by open circuit across their terminals. But only one independent sources we have to consider at a time to find out the response across any element. So next, second point, we can eliminate the voltage source by shorting their two terminals, and similarly the current sources by opening their two terminals. Okay, so next one, third point, therefore we need to find out the response in a particular branch n times if n independent sources are there. Suppose the meaning of this statement is that if three independent sources are there, then there will be three responses. Suppose across one resistor we have to find out current passing through that resistor, and three independent sources are there. It may be voltage source, it may be current source. So three independent sources means three responses will come, that is I1, I2 and I3. Okay, so it depends on how many independent sources are there in the circuit. That number of times responses we have to find it. But what should be the necessary condition? It must consisting of at least two independent sources. Okay, that you have to observe before using the superposition theorem. Now next one, the response in particular branch could be either current flowing through that branch or voltage across that branch. Okay, I already told while explaining the statement of superposition theorem, the response may be a current flowing through that branch or voltage across that branch. Okay, so next one, so next point, so here with the help of diagram I have shown here, if voltage source is there, okay, if voltage source is there, this one, that is battery I have shown, or voltage source is there, then while applying superposition theorem, if I want to remove that voltage source, then that can be replaced by short circuit across their terminal, that is shown here. So next one, if current source will be there, then that can be replaced by open circuit. Are you understand? So in this way we have to make the changes in the circuit diagram while applying the superposition theorem. Are you understand? So here these are the we can say graphical point of view, how to remove or how to replace the ideal voltage source and ideal current source. Okay, now why we are removing the voltage source or replacing voltage source by short circuit and replacing current source by open circuit? The meaning is that if you are comparing with these sources with the practical voltage source, then practical voltage source becomes ideal voltage source when its series resistance will be 0. If R is equal to 0, the meaning is that it is a short. That's why voltage sources we are removing by short circuit. And if we are comparing the practical current source with the ideal current source, then that resistor which is parallel, that should be infinite. Okay, so infinite resistor means R is equal to infinite, means it's an open circuit. That's why current source should be replaced by open circuit. This is the reason why we are replacing voltage source by short circuit and why we are replacing current sources by open circuit. Now 2 points I have given below that. So to remove independent voltage source while applying this theorem, voltage source must be set to 0, that is short circuited across their terminal. Or to remove independent current source while applying this theorem, current source must be open circuited across their terminals. Okay, so here these 2 points I have covered with the help of this graphical representation. Okay, now next point. So next point we will start. So procedure for applying superposition theorem. So I have given the stepwise. So these steps you have to keep in mind. So I have given in a different graphical manner so that you can remember by using this graphical method. It is very easy to remember. Okay. Now procedure for applying superposition theorem. This you have to keep in mind. So give the attention everyone. So first of all, step one. So step one, in that, find the response in a particular branch by considering one independent source and eliminating the remaining independent source present in the network. So before starting the step 1, observation is very important. So what do you mean by observation? So observation telling that first of all see whether it is AC network or DC network, means type of sources you can see. After that you can observe that how many independent sources are present in the given network. If it is at least 2 or more than 2, then and then you can start to apply the superposition theorem. And third observation is that which response they ask to find out, that you have to focus. Okay, so response means voltage across particular element or branch, or current passing through that particular element or through that branch. So that response you can understand. Okay, these three observations are very very important. I will repeat these three observations before starting or before applying SPT. So first observation will be whether circuit is AC or DC. You can observe first. Second one, whether circuit or network consisting of at least two independent sources or more than two. And third observation, which response they ask to find out, that you have to understand, or that you have to observe whether they ask current or voltage across any element or any branch. Once you understand or observe these 3 points, then you can start the step 1. So what do you mean by step 1, or what is the step 1? Find the response in a particular branch by considering one independent source. So one independent source you can keep it. Suppose I will give the example orally. The network consisting of two sources only. One is the voltage source and another is the current source. Both are independent. So if you are finding current passing through particular resistor, that in that case keep one independent sources as it is, that is voltage source you can keep as it is. So while remaining independent sources you can replace it. Okay, so what is remaining here? Current source. So how to replace that current source? By open circuit across their terminal. Okay, so next time you can keep the current source as it is and replace the voltage source by short circuit. Are you understand? So in this way you can do it, but while finding responses, one independent sources should be active, other are non-operative. So next one, step 2, repeat the step 1 for all independent sources present in the network. Means if two sources are there, then it will be repeat for 2 times. If 3 sources will be there, it will repeat for 3 times. So it depends on the n number of independent sources. Next, step 3. So step 3, add all responses in order to get the overall response in a particular branch when all independent sources are acting alone. So here what we are going to do, so here add all independent sources present in the given network. So when we are finding all the responses by keeping one voltage source at a time, then in that case once we are finding all the responses, then we are adding by superposition theorem, then and then we can find out the response in that particular branch. So finally we have to add all those responses due to independent sources acting separately, so that we have to add, and finally we will get the final response. Okay, by superposition theorem. So here, so if you are observing the points, once again I will repeat what are the points we have covered. So first point we have covered, so here what we are going to find out, first we have covered the point, that point will be the what is the superposition theorem. Then second point, uh, then we have covered uh, where we can apply the superposition theorem. After that we have covered how to apply the superposition theorem, and next we have covered what are the steps or procedure to apply the superposition theorem. Okay, uh, so here after that we will see the one example so that we can understand how to apply the superposition theorem. Okay, now here we will see one example. Okay, so now we will come to the example. So example here, find the current flowing through 20 ohm resistor of the following circuit using superposition theorem. So here uh, the example is given before applying the superposition, as they told use the superposition theorem. So if they are telling use the superposition theorem, then you have to use the superposition theorem only. Okay, if they are not giving, only they are asking find the current passing through uh, 20 ohm resistor, then, and if they are not mentioning any theorem, then you have option. But if they are mentioning the theorem, then you have to solve such type of problems using that particular theorem only. Okay, so here they told that use superposition theorem to find out the current passing through 20 ohm. So see where the 20 ohm is located in the given circuit. So next one, so here if you are observing the circuit, one is the independent voltage source present here in the left hand side. Second one will be the independent current source present in the right hand side. Observations are told. Three observations you have to make. First observation, whether circuit is AC or DC, that you have to observe. As you are observing this circuit, it looks like a DC circuit because sources are DC only. Second one, second point one, okay. Second point will be the uh, as they ask find out the response in 20 ohm resistors. Okay, that you have to focus. What is the important one? Current passing through 20 ohm. So you have to make the focus on that resistor only. Okay, now next one, once you are making these observations and two independent sources are there, so we can easily apply the superposition theorem. Now next one, procedure to solve this example. So step one, once observations we can complete. So step one we will come. Let us find current flowing through 20 ohm resistor by considering only 20 volt voltage source. So here we are keeping 20 volt voltage source as it is. Turn off the mic. Turn off the mic, please. So here 20 volt voltage source you have to keep as it is, while 4 ampere current source that you have to make, that you have to replace by open circuit. So here if you are observing at the right hand side, there should not be a current source because already we have removed or we have replaced that current source by open circuit. So after keeping 20 volt voltage sources as it is and replacing 4 ampere current source by open circuit, the new circuit will becomes as shown in the diagram here. Okay, so here the circuit looks like a very simple. So here we are going to find out the current passing through this 20 ohm resistor. Are you understand? So this 20 ohm resistor we are focusing. So here we are going to find out current passing through 20 ohm resistor. So here we have many options. So what are the options here? Either you can use a KVL KCL, or you can use uh, the current division. But if you are observing the circuit, the nodal analysis is the best way to find out current passing through 20 ohm. So nodal analysis we can apply now. What first step in the nodal analysis? Observe the circuit carefully. Find out the number of principal nodes present in the given network. If you are observing that, then this will be the node and this will be the node. Two nodes are present in the given network. So second step, once you are identify the number of nodes, second step will be the one of the node you can consider as the ground node. So ground node I have considered here, and for remaining nodes I have to assign the node voltage, and that node voltage will be the V1. Assigning means give the name. So only one node is present, so one unknown will be there. So that voltage you have to find out. Once V1 you will get, so you can easily find out the current passing through this 20 ohm. Are you understand? Okay, so next one, once you are identify or once you are chosen, we have to use the nodal analysis, then we will move to the next part. So next one, nodal equations. So here nodal equations means what? You have to apply the KCL here at the node V1. So here uh, this is outgoing current, this is outgoing current, and this is outgoing current. Okay, so these three are the outgoing current. So outgoing currents we are assuming as a positive. So assume that V1 is greater than 20 volt here. Assume here V1 is greater than 0 and assume here V1 is greater than 0. So nodal equation I will write V1 minus 20 divided by 5 plus V1 divided by 10 plus V1 divided by 10 plus 20 is equal to 0. This is by applying KCL. Okay, this is by applying KCL at V1. So next one, so all these terms are positive because all currents are positive. So next one, take the LCM. If you are taking the LCM as a 30, then take the LCM, the equation will becomes like this. Next 10 V1 is equal to 120 and V1 is equal to 12 volt. So once V1 will become 12 volt, so current passing through 20 ohm is equal to V1 divided by 10 plus 20, that is 30. So V1 is 12 divided by 30, that will give the current passing through that 20 ohm resistor, that is the zero point 0.4. So 0.4 ampere will be the current passing through 20 ohm due to 20 volt voltage sources acting alone. Are you understand? So next one we will see by keeping voltage source as it is and shorting the voltage source. Are you understand? So next step 2, let us find the current flowing through 20 ohm resistor by considering 4 ampere current source in the circuit, while other independent sources we have to replace it based on their internal resistance. So here voltage sources I have made it short circuit. So voltage source I have made it short circuit here. So this is the short circuit voltage source. I make it short circuit and I keep the 4 ampere current source as it is. So here we have to find the current passing through this 20 ohm. So here two options. Okay, so either you can use to make this circuit simple by using the equivalent resistance you can find out, or you can apply the nodal analysis. Three nodes will be there. This will be the ground node, this will be the V1, this will be the V2. So superposition theorem you can easily apply here. Superposition theorem you can apply, or second method will be the equivalent resistance. So equivalent resistance I have given here. So equivalent resistance will be the simple one here. So here you can consider this diagram. So if you're considering the above diagram here, so we can mark A point and B point, A point and B point between these two terminals. So 5 ohm is parallel with 10 ohm and that is in series with 10. So 5 is in parallel with 10 and that is in series with 10. So that equivalent resistance you can find out. Okay, so once you are finding, so that description is given here. 5 and 10 ohm are connected in parallel and the entire combination in series with 10 ohm resistor. So you can use that resistor and that will give the answer 40 by 3 ohm. Okay, 5 is parallel with 10 plus 10, that will give the 40 divided by 3. So once you are finding out the equivalent resistance, the new circuit becomes like this and it's look like a very simple one. Okay, now you can use the current division. You can use the current division to find out current passing through this 20. So current division you can apply. So how to apply current? So total current will be the 4 into opposite branch resistor will be 40 by 3 divided by 40 by 3 plus 20. So you can use this formula to find out the current passing through 20 ohm. So once you are using this formula to find out current passing through this one, then here you can get I2 is equal to, here you can get I2 is equal to 4 into 40 divided by 3 divided by 40 by 3 plus 20, that will give the 1.6 ampere. So by keeping 4 ampere current source as it is and shorting the voltage source, you will get current passing through 20 ohm as a 1.6 ampere. Okay, now next one, only two sources, as only two sources are present here, So we can finally add by superposition theorem here. So by adding these two responses, I is equal to I1 plus I2, where I is the current passing through 20 ohm, that is given by superposition theorem. So I is equal to zero point 0.4 plus 1.6, that will give the 2.2 ampere. So this will be the final answer. The current flowing through 20 ohm resistor is given as a 2 ampere. Are you understand? So next, the final slide. So here it will be the what should be the applications and limitations. So application will be the to find out the responses in the given circuit. It may be voltage source or current response or voltage response across any element, but condition is that two independent sources should be there. So the superposition theorem cannot be useful for power calculation. We cannot find out the power responses by using superposition theorem. Okay, so as the power equation is not linear because it possesses the non-linearity, so we cannot find out the power responses using the superposition theorem. So this will be the drawback or limitations we can say. So we can apply the superposition theorem for the circuit which consisting of linear elements or linear responses only. Are you understand? So this we can consider the drawback or limitations, but it will be the very easy to apply the superposition theorem and to find out the responses given in the network. Are you understand? So superposition theorem will be the very easy. Thank you.